Let's paint the head from Prometheus. I've included my reference image on the left. The hardest part of this was getting the end result to look kind of like a stone statue. I'm not gonna lie, I've never painted anything like this before, so this was quite new to me. So the first thing I did was add a bit of a background to create a silhouette around the head. I'd traced out the proportions from the image on the left. Yes, that's right, tracing. I like to trace. It's easy to get some really complicated structures onto a canvas. I painted in the rough positions of the eyes. At this stage, I'm not really going for accuracy. I just want to get some of the elements in the right places. So just to be sure, I traced all of those elements back in again. My technique for tracing is very simple. I use a piece of baking paper and trace the outlines on my laptop screen using a graphite pencil. After that, I use the end of my paintbrush to transfer the graphite onto the canvas. Easy, right? Cheap and cheerful as well. Now I'm making sure that I paint around the outlines just to get a nice background in place. The first thing I'm trying to get right here are the eyes. Once that's in place, everything else just gets a little easier. I'm not going too dark on the paint either. I'm just kind of using a mid-tone to add all the shadows in. This is the way I find it most comfortable to paint shapes like this, where there are a lot of shadows and there are lighting details to get right. I also find it really easy to build up a shape like this. If I put this as a base layer, then I know where all the other bits and pieces need to go. I've just kind of learned this by doing as well. I've not studied this or anything like that. It does give me a good result though. I wouldn't say it's the best. If you have other ways of doing this better, please let me know in the comments. Now is about the time that a painting like this starts to get a little bit exciting. I can start to see the similarities between the reference picture and the painting. It gives you that positive rush to keep going and fill out all the details. I like this way as opposed to, finishing off one bit really well and then moving on to the next little bit, because I don't really have the patience for that and I like to see something developing in front of me. Let's go through this a little bit faster now. It's all about those small details, shadows, and building up small layer by small layer. In a painting like this, the lighting is so important. By not committing with a lot of paint, you can make a lot of changes and correct mistakes as you go. So now we move on to my third session painting this face. It's the centerpiece of this painting, so I wanted to get it as good as possible. I could have spent a lot more time on this, but because I'd never painted anything like this before, I was okay with it not being perfect. It was just my go on seeing if I could get it as close to the reference image as possible. One other caveat is I've just started painting this year, so I'm learning as I go. So finally, I spent a bit of time just cleaning things up. The proportions on the face weren't quite right, and the shadows were a little bit flat, so I just wanted to add a bit more depth to all those different areas. But I think it ended up coming out pretty well. I wouldn't call it exact, but like I said, I'm not a perfectionist. For me, at this early stage in my painting career, it's all about putting paint on canvas and learning as much as I can. And here's the end goal of the painting. Hopefully, you got something out of this video. Also, how good is Prometheus? What a great movie. In any case, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on. I'm new to YouTube and I'd love to have your support. Thank you.